Hi, this is Elizabeth Clare Brewington, and I am so delighted because I have an author. And as you know, I love to talk about authors because one of my goals is to get people to read more and to own libraries and buy books and help self publishers. And so I like to produce a book, and I'm reviewing this book right now. It's called Take the High Road: Divorce with Compassion to Yourself and Your Family. And Andy, thank you for writing this book. I haven't seen such a great and more comprehensive book than this one. This is really, I have to say, an amazing book because he not only dives into divorce and how difficult it is, but he also tells you how to co parent and how to deal with some very, very difficult situations that leave you as a person, first of all, trust and all those things that go on and grief. But then you have to deal with life, money, finances, living. And so this book is really a valuable resource, and I highly recommend that everybody gets this book, especially if you're going through what he went through. So over to you, Andy, and thank you again for the book.
Thank you, Elizabeth. First of all, I got to say, I am so humbled by all these amazing women with their great stories and powerful stories. So here comes a little guy with his contribution. And I hope I can be a credit to this amazing podcast series that you have, Elizabeth. So my story, everybody, is kind of unique. I'm a successful businessman. I run an international freight forwarding company. I invest and I teach real estate around the country. I went through a traumatic divorce, and everybody has a different coping mechanism when they're challenged. I write, and I don't sleep a lot, so I read a lot of other divorce books, and I'm writing all these notes as I'm going through my own drama. So something happened. Well, I'm going to kind of be brief so I can get to the book and where I'd like to try to help people. Something happened, and one day I went into a therapist's office. I said, "You know what? This happened, but don't worry. I've thought it through, and this is what I'm going to do." And I'm a very compromise-oriented guy. Wasn't out to hurt my ex, whatever. And she sat me down and said, "Well, Andy, I'm glad you think that way, blah, 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 but you're not going to do what you intend to do. You're going to do the opposite." And at some point, I was smart enough to shut my mouth and listen. And she went and explained her rationale for the counsel she was going to give me, which was the polar opposite of what I intended to do. She was so right. And I had a realization afterwards, everybody, to the degree to which I was emotionally compromised and not making good decisions. And then I looked at my notes. I'm like, oh my God, I got an outline for a great book. So all these books I read about divorce, almost all of them were good, but there was a few problems. The problem would be that the books were given counsel for a certain part of divorce from a certain lens. So, for example, the divorce attorney's book about how to negotiate a good divorce. There was a niche book about what to do with the family house. There was another niche book from a therapist perspective on how to tell your kids they're getting divorced. All these books were really great, everybody. But when I am stressed, I don't sleep a lot. I read a lot. Most other people are not like me. They might have enough time for one book, for one 3 hour commitment. So I recognized that there was a gap in the divorce book space. And I also saw that these books were written from a very specific perspective, from the perspective of the writer, who would be oftentimes a mediator, a judge, an attorney, a therapist. And that's all good, but they needed something different. So what I started was a 7 year project, and I interviewed all these field experts who know a heck of a lot more about divorce than me. I said, what is the right counsel in this situation? What's the right advice here? What's the right advice there? And I organized my book like a business plan on how to get through a divorce with your head on straight, without screwing up your kids, and move on to that next chapter of life. The book is designed into 46 situations, of which most of us divorce will find ourselves in at least 2/3 of these situations. and it gives the expert advice and ends with a takeaway tip of what you need to do. And these 46 tips are in 4 sections. The first section is, okay, is divorce right for you? And if it is right for you, what's the right strategy? How do you negotiate? Do you take a legal route? Do you go with a kitchen table divorce? All the different types of divorce and how to achieve your goals at the end. Okay, this is what I want to get out of my divorce. How do you negotiate so you can achieve those? The next section is how to manage your children's lives when you're going through divorce and after divorce. The third section is how to take care of, guess what? Yourself. Because if you are damaged, as lots of us are, and not at our best when we're going through divorce, that will have an effect on your children. And you want to minimize that. So self-help is also one of the most unselfish things you can do for your children. And the final section, which isn't just about divorce, it could last for 10 years after, is how to co parent effectively with a partner who you couldn't live with. So, my book is not just for those considering going through divorce, but if you've been through divorce and you're having co parenting challenges. So, everybody listening, you've got at least one friend or family member going through divorce, and hopefully, my book can help out. What I will say now is I am so humbled. Again, this wasn't my job. I don't need to make money on this project. This is absolutely a give back to all the people who helped me. But my book is not what Andy Heller suggests. I'm just a writer who organized the council from a lot of the people that are like people like those that are on your podcast, Elizabeth, who are so super experts in their respective fields, and I organize it in one 3-hour read, like a business plan on how to get through your divorce without screwing yourself up, certainly without screwing your kids up, and landing in a co-parenting arrangement that can help you raise your kids, get them out of the house so they're well adjusted. And I'm humbled that my little book has had been out for I can't even know how long, but we've got about 105 five-star reviews from experts and therapists, and most important, divorcees who it's helped. So that's kind of my story. And I'm humbled to be here, Elizabeth, with all these amazing experts in their respective fields. But I will stress again, I think I'm going to make one more point before we go on to the panel and everything. If I had to do over again, I would change the title of the book. The title is misleading. Take the High Road, Divorce with Compassion for Yourself and Your Family kind of suggests, well, compromise everywhere. That's what the author's saying. That is absolutely not what I'm saying. Okay? Taking the high road really means picking your battles, everybody. Okay? Don't fight on everything. Be very focused. Always think about your children and try to get through as conflicts as easy as possible and as few as possible. And I'll give you a great example. When you go into your attorney, one of the points of my book is it's your responsibility as a divorcee to manage your attorney, not the other way around. So when you go and sit with your attorney, the book suggests that you've got to sit down and give the attorney two, no more than three of your goals that you want the attorney to achieve, and empower that attorney to compromise everywhere else. So that's what take the high road means. Don't fight on 15 points when you're really focused on two or three, and force yourself to give your attorney two or three and say, give him, give her everything they want on the other 12 points. I need you to focus on these two or three. That's what's important to me. So that's actually going to help you be so focused on what you want to achieve that not only are you more likely to achieve it, but you're more likely to achieve it with a much lower legal bill. So anyhow, I'll pass the baton back to you, Elizabeth, and thank you for having me. You're muted, Elizabeth.
So get the book, and it's got 40 plus tips How better is that from start to finish, from the definition of what it is, right to resources and help? And definitely, he's got 5-star reviews. So you know that people have read the book and have really experienced it. So get the book. And when you get the book, don't forget to write a review. You have no excuse. I get all these excuses. Oh, I can't do Amazon. Okay, then write it on Facebook, write it on LinkedIn, write it on YouTube, write a review on my channel. So go ahead and write a review and get his book and get connected on social media, because the more we connect, our algorithms go up. And the more videos we make, more people get to know about us. That's how you get discovered. So you are on the Discover Brightside Network.